Greetings to all lovers of fluffy-tailed creatures. Did you know that much of what we consider true about cats is actually just myths that have long been debunked by scientific research? It's amazing how these misconceptions have become firmly rooted in our consciousness and continue to be passed down from generation to generation. Today, we'll examine 5 of the most common myths about cats that science has completely debunked. If you're interested in learning more about your fluffy companions and surprising friends with unexpected facts, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to not miss new episodes dedicated to our four-legged friends. Let's dive into the fascinating world of feline secrets and misconceptions. Myth 1. Cats always land on their feet. This is perhaps one of the most famous myths about cats. Many believe that these animals possess some supernatural ability to always land on their feet, regardless of the height of the fall and initial position. Yes, cats do indeed possess an amazing mechanism that helps them turn around in midair. This is called the vestibular righting reflex. Thanks to the special structure of the inner ear and an incredibly flexible spine, cats can orient themselves very quickly in space and correct their body position. However, science categorically refutes the claim that cats always land on their feet. Research shows that this reflex requires a certain amount of time and space to work. If the fall height is too small, the animal simply doesn't have time to flip over. Veterinary statistics show that falls from height often lead to serious injuries in cats, including broken legs, internal organ damage, and even fatal outcomes. Interestingly, scientists have discovered the so-called high-rise syndrome paradox. According to veterinary data, cats falling from very great heights sometimes receive fewer injuries than those that fell from medium heights. Why? When falling from great heights, the animal has enough time not only to flip over, but also to assume an optimal position, to relax, and spread out in the air, which reduces falling speed. Nevertheless, even in these cases, we cannot speak of safe landing. So despite cats' amazing acrobatic abilities, the myth that they always land on their feet is completely untrue. And of course, you should never test this theory in practice. Protect your pets from falls. Myth 2. Cats can see in complete darkness. Many of us grew up believing that cats possess some form of night vision that allows them to see even in absolute darkness. Let's examine what science says about this. Indeed, cat vision is adapted for hunting at dusk and in low-light conditions. They have several anatomical features that improve visibility in dim light. First, cat eyes have a special light-reflecting layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum. This layer works like a mirror, reflecting light back through the retina, giving photoreceptors a second chance to capture each photon of light. This is why cats' eyes glow in the dark when light hits them. Second, cat pupils can dilate much more than human pupils, allowing them to capture more light. Additionally, the cat eye retina contains a greater number of rods, photoreceptors responsible for light perception in low-light conditions. However, contrary to popular belief, scientific research clearly proves that cats cannot see in complete darkness. They, like any other animals with eyes, need at least a minimal light source. In conditions of absolute darkness, when there is no light at all, a cat will be just as blind as a human. Interesting fact, while cats see much better than us in dim light, their color vision is significantly inferior to human vision. They distinguish blue and green colors, but have problems perceiving red. Also, cats cannot focus on close objects as well as humans, and have less visual acuity at long distances. So when your pet confidently moves through a dark room, it uses not only its excellent twilight vision, but also other senses, primarily smell, hearing, and touch through vibrissae, that is, whiskers. These sensory hairs are so sensitive that they allow the cat to detect even minor changes in air movement around objects. Myth 3. Cats hate water. Surely many of you have encountered situations where a cat categorically refuses to take a bath and resists contact with water with all its might. This is where the persistent myth arose that all cats fear water and hate bathing. However, scientific observations and studies of behavior in various cat breeds say otherwise. First of all, cats' attitude toward water is not a universal trait of the entire species, but rather an individual characteristic that can vary greatly depending on breed, upbringing, and the animal's personal experience. Some cat breeds, such as the Turkish Van, Maine Coon, and Bengal cat, are known for their love of water. The Turkish Van even earned the nickname swimming cat because of its unusual fondness for swimming. Scientists studying cat behavior identify several reasons why domestic cats may avoid water. First, wet fur becomes heavy and loses its thermal insulation properties, which can cause discomfort. Second, many cats simply have not had positive experience with water at an early age. If a kitten is gradually and safely introduced to water, it is much more likely to be calm about bathing in adulthood. Interestingly, wild ancestors of domestic cats living in various ecosystems often demonstrate high tolerance for water. Tigers, for example, swim excellently and can pursue prey in water. Even ordinary domestic cats in natural conditions can cross small bodies of water if necessary. Additionally, many cats show curiosity toward running water. They can watch a dripping faucet for hours or drink directly from the stream. Researchers connect this with an instinctive preference for running water over stagnant water as safer from a survival standpoint in nature. Thus, scientific data completely refutes the myth about cats' universal hatred of water. It's more accurate to speak of a wide spectrum of individual reactions to water that depend on many factors. And if your pet really doesn't like bathing, perhaps it's all about how exactly its introduction to water went, and not some innate fear. Myth 4. Cats purr only when they feel good. Purring is one of the most characteristic features of cats, often associated with states of pleasure and comfort. Many owners are sure that if a cat is purring, it means it's happy. However, modern research shows that this sound can have much more complex meaning. The purring mechanism is still not fully studied, but it's known that cats produce this sound by creating vibration of vocal cords during inhalation and exhalation at a frequency from 25 to 150 hertz. Interestingly, not only domestic cats can purr, but also some wild representatives of the cat family, for example, cheetahs, pumas, and lynx. But lions, tigers, and jaguars cannot purr. Instead, they can roar, which is connected to the peculiarities of their larynx structure. Scientific research of recent decades has shown that cats purr in very different situations, far from always connected with pleasure. They can purr when experiencing pain, stress, or fear. For example, veterinarians often note that seriously ill and even dying cats continue to purr. Purring is also observed in cats during childbirth, which is clearly not a moment of relaxation and pleasure. Scientists propose several theories about purring functions. One of the most intriguing is connected with healing properties of this sound. Research shows that vibration frequency during purring, from 25 to 50 hertz, coincides with the frequency that promotes tissue healing and bone strengthening. This may explain why cats recover so quickly from injuries compared to other animals of similar size. Another theory considers purring as a form of self-soothing. Cats may use this mechanism to reduce stress and pain levels, similar to how people sometimes hum or talk to themselves in difficult situations. Purring also plays an important role in communication between mother and kittens. Cats begin purring at the age of 2 days, which helps the mother find them in the nest. In turn, the mother's purring serves as a safety signal for kittens and helps strengthen social bonds. When an adult cat purrs near its owner, this may be not only an expression of pleasure, but also a method of communication, a request for attention or food. Many owners note that their pets use special begging purring that differs in tone and intensity from ordinary purring. Thus, scientific data completely refutes the myth that cats purr exclusively from pleasure. In reality, this is a complex, multifunctional mechanism that can express a whole spectrum of emotional states and physiological needs. Myth 5. Cats cannot be trained. Many owners are sure that unlike dogs, cats cannot be trained because of their independent character and willfulness. This belief is so widespread that it has become one of the most persistent myths about cats. However, modern animal behavior science categorically disagrees with this statement. Research shows that cats are quite capable of learning and can master various commands and tricks, although their training methods differ significantly from those applied to dogs. The key difference lies in motivation. Dogs often strive to please their owner and work for social approval, while cats usually need more tangible stimuli. Scientists from various universities specializing in animal behavior have conducted numerous experiments proving cats' trainability. For example, researchers from the University of Padua in Italy discovered that cats can remember and perform up to 10 different actions on command if the right reward system is used. One of the most effective methods of training cats is clicker training, a positive reinforcement technique where the animal receives an immediate signal, click sound, after correctly performing an action, followed by a reward. Experiments show that using this method, cats can learn to perform commands such as sit, give paw, jump over an obstacle, and even more complex action sequences. Interestingly, according to scientific research, cats' learning abilities may differ depending on breed and individual characteristics. Some breeds, such as Siamese, Bengal, and Abyssinian cats, are considered more easily trainable due to their high intelligence and curiosity. However, even ordinary domestic cats without pedigree can demonstrate amazing learning abilities under the right conditions. It's important to understand that the cat training process differs from working with dogs not only in methods but also in pace. Cats prefer short, frequent training sessions and quickly lose interest if the session lasts too long. Optimal duration is considered to be 5 to 10 minutes several times a day. Another scientific discovery is that cats learn excellently on their own through trial and error. Many owners have noticed how their pets master opening doors, turning on lights, or even flushing toilets without any purposeful training from humans. This ability for self-learning speaks to cats' high intelligence and excellent cognitive skills. Curious that some researchers suggest that the widespread opinion about the impossibility of training cats may be connected to the fact that we evaluate their behavior by dog standards. If we look at the question from this point of view, then we can say that it's not that cats are poorly trainable, but that people poorly understand the peculiarities of feline learning and motivation. Thus, scientific research completely refutes the myth that cats cannot be trained. In reality, these animals possess excellent learning abilities. They just require a special approach that takes into account their nature and individual characteristics. Summing up our conversation about scientifically debunked myths about cats, I want to note how amazing and complex creatures our fluffy companions are. They are not just cute pets, but beings with rich inner worlds, unique abilities, and complex behavior that we are only beginning to truly understand. Science continues to discover new, amazing facts about cats, destroying old stereotypes and helping us better understand our four-legged friends. Knowledge of real features of feline behavior and physiology not only satisfies our curiosity, but also allows us to create more comfortable conditions for our pets, taking into account their true needs and capabilities. What do you think about these myths? Perhaps you have your own observations that confirm or refute some of these misconceptions. Share your experience in the comments. It's always interesting to learn about personal stories of interaction with these mysterious creatures. If you like this video and learned something new about your fluffy friends, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to not miss new episodes. Next time, we'll talk about even more amazing features of our pets that might completely change your perception of them. After all, the animal world is full of mysteries and surprises waiting to be discovered. See you again in the fascinating world of scientific discoveries about our beloved pets.